Many of you have probably come here for different reasons. You know, you have your own curiosities. You're wondering, you know, is this overrated? Is there really an impact? Is new media changing Islam, or is it changing Muslim society? Because a lot of people have come up to me and said, well, you know, it shouldn't be called the future of Islam in the age of new media, rather, you know, the future of Muslim society in the age of new media, because Islam is not going to change. Islam is the same, always has been, always will be. In the Muslim world, Islam virtually permeates all aspects of Muslim life, right? So that includes education, culture, social issues, and politics. Therefore, any changes within Islam or contemporary Islamic thought, right, any changes within that, any new trends within Islam itself will impact very important matters beyond Islam itself. Now more than ever, if I can put it in a simple statement, now more than ever, many Muslims are waking up to the fact that there is no such thing as one monolithic true Islam, and all the other Islams are invalid. If anything, they realize that, you know, there is one Quran, but there are many interpretations of that Quran. There is a crisis of authority in the Muslim world, right? And there are too many Islamic scholars who believe themselves to be authoritative, but are in fact authoritarian.
The nature of authority, the mechanisms of trust are shifting as the internet allows anybody with a thought to globally disseminate their views, whether it's through a blog, a YouTube video, or a tweet. Which is what I've been doing up here. I'm not checking my email, I'm tweeting. And I think that, Muslims online have reinterpreted this practice into virtual isnad. And so what they do is they, link to Quranic text, to other scholars, to each other through blog rolls. And it's a new form of engaging in isnad, and it's been adapted to the network logic of the globalized era. Youth and maybe Muslims more generally are seeking other interpretations and getting outside of the box. And I think that really is the power of new media, is that it allows people to vote through their tweets, through their likes, through their views, etc., on who they believe is authoritative, who they trust, who they want to watch, instead of just relying on whoever happens to be in the mosque that day, or whoever the government appoints to head the religious establishment, since in many Islamic countries the religious leaders are appointed by the state.
If there are 1.6 billion Muslims in the world, there must be 1.6 billion interpretations, because everyone will have different understanding of religion. I compare myself with my wife, my mother, my sister, my brother, my father. We have differences in the way we understand religions, because we have different experience of life, maybe different education. So technically there can be 1.6 billion different interpretations of Islam.
What this panel has underscored is that there are psychosocial impact of new technologies that you can't measure in econometric studies.
Okay, we're talking about the future of Islam in the age of new media, and we've acknowledged that there are many trends, right? But the thing is, where do we want to steer this future, right? To which direction? I think that's the key thing here. And of course, I think for many of us in this room, probably we would all agree that we want to steer it towards a direction, of an Islam that's pluralistic, that that's very compatible with democracy, at ease with democracy, secular democracy, separation of mosque and state, right? That's preferably where we're going to steer to. Obviously, the Muslim Brotherhood, they will disagree. They'll have their own interpretation. They'll have their own objectives and agenda. However, because the internet is so open, right? It is, I believe, our job, and this is what I'm doing and working on. Our job as people who believe in liberal democracy and religious freedom, to advocate and push interpretations of Islam that support democracy to as many people as possible.